Hi, I'm Kim Thatcher, and if you know me from the legislature, you're probably not used to seeing me in work clothes and a hard hat. But the reality is, this has been part of my life for the last 28 years. You see, I own two small, relatively small, road construction companies. So, if you're driving down the road and you see road work ahead signs or orange cones and you suddenly wish you had taken a different route, it might be because of one of the projects my company is working on. But when I'm not wearing this hard hat, I'm often seen at the Capitol working on Senate issues. I'm from Kaiser, though my Senate district moves north through Newburgh, Yamhill County, and into parts of Clackamas County, including Wilsonville, and even up to parts of Washington County, including the south part of Hillsborough. So, like many members, business members especially, of the West Side Economic Alliance, I'm very concerned about the economy and the future of my businesses. The recession brought on by this pandemic is hitting Oregon hard, and especially our small businesses. And we all know small businesses are the backbone of Oregon's economy. It's hard to even fathom that just a few weeks ago we had record low unemployment. And now, after the COVID-19 shutdown, we will be shattering the high unemployment rates of the Great Recession of the early 80s, which was about 12%. Some economists are even projecting it might get as high as 20%, and soon. Yes, there has been some, though clearly not enough, federal help. Hopefully more federal grants and loans will be headed our way. So, how can I help? Oregonians are looking for people to vote for with a proven track record to lead during times of crisis. Oregon's next Secretary of State needs to be one of those leaders. Of all the candidates running, I have a good combination of legislative as well as business experience. I started my businesses almost 28 years ago. I've handled several large-scale projects with lots of moving parts and people. The Secretary of State is a very administrative and managerial position with, of course, lots of moving parts and people. It's got about an $80 million a biennium budget and 200 people. My experience in the legislature also gives me a solid background for the office of the Secretary of State. I was first elected to the Oregon House in 2004. I served there for 10 years until I was elected to the Senate in 2014. I'm now serving in the middle of my second term. Throughout my time in the legislature, I've worked on many of the committees that intersect with the work of the Secretary of State's office. For many years, I've served on the audits committees, and I've been heavily involved with Government Accountability Committee work, and I'm a member of not only the Oregon Transparency Commission, but also the Public Records Advisory Council, and what will become very important, and that is the Workforce and Talent Development Board. It's through this public sector work that I'm more than a little familiar with the four main divisions of the Secretary of State's office. Add up my private sector experience and my public sector background, and you'll see I'm ready to lead. I'm the right person with the right skills at the right time. Thank you.
I was asked to respond to two questions, and the first question is, what do you think of the role of the Secretary of State's office should be in the post-COVID-19 recovery phase? I think it's important to state that the Secretary of State has some key areas to cover. For example, businesses. The Business Services Division has a critical role in promoting programs available to help small businesses, especially recovering from what's happening right now. The Small Business Advocates Office has been doing a great job helping owners and managers navigate and troubleshoot any of the problems with taxes or licensing or other red tape like that. Now, as far as government's concerned, I think they're key. The Audits Division should be prioritizing work that they do to ensure that we are responding correctly and to this situation. What have we done right? What have we done? What could we do better? What could we learn from what's happening? So we don't make similar mistakes in the future and we do better. Because my concern is this is not the last emergency that our state will be facing. We need to be prepared in case there's another virus. Perhaps some other invisible enemy like a cyber attack or even the Cascadia subduction zone earthquake that we've been preparing for quite some time, or maybe something else altogether. Elections are also key because the society can't function without fair and democratic elections. And our vote by mail system is good, but nothing is perfect. And perhaps it's time for a top to bottom review to ensure we're not vulnerable to any sort of a fraud or any other kind of problem or attack. Okay, so the next question is, how will you bring the Office of the Secretary of State closer to the private sector? Okay, so first, I think it's about leadership. It's how you approach the business sector. Do you put out a welcoming mat, or do you put out a no solicitor sign? For instance, instead of the first inclination of government to be to punish a company for missing a deadline to register their business, for instance, why not remind them of the process? Encourage them to register on time to begin with. Just for example. All right, so the Small Business Advocates Office, for example, I think does a really good job. They travel the state, they market their work, help businesses in need of assistance. I think we could do something similar with the Corporations Division generally. One idea I would like to explore, given our economic situation, is to combine forces with the Business Oregon and other programs out there, so we can have a clearinghouse, a one-page, website, one-stop shop for all things business related. So that's that. But finally, I think West Side Economic Alliance, as well as co-sponsor Portland General Electric for allowing us candidates to record these videos and help people learn more about our campaigns. So learn more about my campaign, please visit me at kimthatcher.com.